how do you think you've cultivated that mentality, and where do you think that comes from, like in your childhood or as a young man, or like how can someone else try and be the same?
I would say it's pretty basic, right? When it comes down to just saying something and actually doing it. And actually, I'm more surprised about people because now we are surrounded by guys like us that when they say something, I know they're gonna do it. So it makes like life so much easier and so much honest. Because like a lot of guys, if they tell me they don't want to come to the restaurant, tell me. So don't do like a weird move like, oh, sorry, I broke my leg, my grandma died. Like, because most people, they do this. And actually, I've realized something. If it's a girl acting like this, it's all right. It's like, that's the same when they break something in the house. They say, I don't know, it just fell. Of course it fell. She's the girl, so they act like this, they don't take responsibility for it. But now because like men became women, most of them, they are just not like no masculine energy, no accountability, not self-accountability. And for me, I was like, I think it's just like to be more confident. I needed to do this. I was like, because as any kid when I was like a teenager, I was not like as confident as now, which is completely normal. And I just figured out like, I'm gonna say something. I was like, automatically I said it. It was just for myself. If I don't do it, because I've done it in the past when I was a kid. I say something, I don't do it, or I just escape it, whatever. And I felt like shit. I was like really bad. I was like, oh my God, like I can't just stand saying something and not doing it after like your ego is destroyed and your self-confidence is like plummeted. So I just figured out, okay, every time I say something, I have to do it. And sometimes it's just a bit complicated, but sometimes like it brings you so like new stuff, cool stuff in your life. And yeah, sometimes it's like a bit like difficult for logistic. Like I had a wedding in France and had to come back and blah, blah. But I was like, every time I was happy, I did it. And every time it's like a positive loop, it's gonna increase your confidence. It's pretty simple, right? You just like, and it makes your life so much easier too. Because some guys, like, they're going to say something, after they're going to lie, and find, like, a complicated way to get to the point, to telling you, no, I can't do it because, and give you excuses. When actually, like, if someone says something to me and really does his best to do it, I'm like, oh, this guy is interesting. But because now it's no longer, I think, like, maybe 80 years ago, it was norm. When a man was saying something, it was like, yeah, he's going to do it. You know, it's like when a woman, she could rely on, actually, oh yeah, when my man says something like 100%, he's going to figure it out. He's going to find a way. Now it's not the case. And that's why I'm always surprised when I do like strategy calls, which basically strategy calls is like when I see if a guy is a good fit for a program. And some guys like, I'm always surprised how like they can say something and not do it. I'm like, how can you live your life like this? Like there's no way your life could be cool. No fucking way. And the other thing is like when someone is going to say, I'm going to think about it, or I need to talk with my wife about it. I'm like, what a terrible existence. Like if you have to ask your wife if you can like invest few $1,000s, it's like, what does that mean about you as a man? You know, it's really bad. So I'm like, sometimes you find like some gold nuggets, like some cool guys, but it's really rare. So it's more and more rare. That's why I'm so happy to have my group where everyone is like me and my life is so much easier too.
So you think, what is the hardest thing that you've said you were going to do and then had to do? And what is the stupidest thing that you've said you've had to do and you've had to do?
One of the hardest, I think like the fight camp was pretty big because at the same time, like when you do a fight camp, it's not only like, yes, it's hard, but there are things that you don't expect, which is when you train twice a day, like basically your business is dead. If not everything is automated, it's completely dead because you come back. So you wake up, you train in the morning for 2 hours. You come back, you want to eat something. After you want to have a nap because you are destroyed. So after you have 2 hours before your next training, so you try to do some emails or something like this. You're like half awake. You go to training and you just want to eat and sleep. So I'm like, how long is it, Luke? Yeah, 10 weeks. I'm like, this is going to be long. So that's why I'm like, sometimes, oh, that would be good to do a fight. And after I think about it, I know. Because, like, you need to find a focus, and you can do both. So I would say that's the one thing that was pretty hard. So a lot of things were hard, but like this one was pretty hard for this reason too.
That was my life for 17 years, so it's good to know that it's difficult. Okay.
No, that's it, yeah. And at the same time, you were like, only this, like only focus on one thing. So it makes your life so much easier too.
Because then it's interesting because having you say that, obviously that was my complete focus for my entire life. Well, not my entire life, but a big period of my life. And now looking back at it, I think I had so much, in my mind, I think I wasted so much time that I could have been building, business or whatever, or relationships or anything, because I was so solely focused on one thing. But then when you talk about it and you say like you want to train 2 hours and you're going to eat, then you want to sleep, then yeah, that's what I did pretty much every day. But I used to think I was lazy because I was like, but to perform at your best, you have to be completely focused on that one thing. So I think I did the right thing, and obviously it took me as far as it did. I actually think when I moved to, because I lived in America for a while, and I became less focused in a way because I thought I kind of made it, and I had this mistake, and I learned a lot from it. But that's when I started losing fights, and I didn't have that full 100% focus on it like I had I'd say for 10 years. I'd had it every day, like in furious focus. I think I lost that focus, so I stopped being a master at my craft. So I didn't waste time, really, when I look at it, but it's just funny hearing it from you. Now you say, like, should I have a fight? No, I can't do it. I need to focus on my business, Yeah. I was doing the opposite.
Yeah, it's, like the thing about focusing, I did the same mistake in business at some point. Because when you get a business that's working well, like a lot of guys, it's just gonna, and I did the same, it's like instead of doubling down on one, if you took a business from $0 to $20,000 a month, it's way easier to get from 20 to 50 than taking a new thing and get to 5K. But a lot of people, they just have like the shiny object syndrome. Like, yeah, but it seems cool, it's new. Yeah, but at the end of the day, do you really want like to do something fun, or do you want to make more money? Because more money is going to bring you freedom. Blah. So I did the same mistake at some point, and I had like 4 different businesses. And your life is like so much stressful too, when you have like 4 or 5 different things going on, and you have a fight, and you have this, and you have travel. So after I just like came back to doing one thing, now it's like my life is way better.
I think that's what I have done. Why I was doing one thing, which was fighting, and then I slowly transitioned out of fighting. I opened a gym. I started an athlete management company. I started an events company, and then I counted the other day, and I think I'm at 13 different things that I do at the moment. And I kind of just spread myself completely wide. And now I'm trying to focus back in on just a few things that I do and trying to become elite at those things. But I did that, and this is some advice that I give to people in my experience, because I had no idea what to do. So when I finished fighting, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I have no clue. So I spoke to a close friend of mine who's very, very high up, CEO in some huge company. And he said, just do everything. Anything that comes to your mind, just do it, because you're going to learn lessons from every single thing, which is kind of what you did as a younger man. Like, you learn a lot of different lessons from dinosaurs and all the things that you did in your life. But then you can apply all of those things to one when you find that one thing. And I believe that's what I'm doing now with my life, because I'm in the stage where I've spread so thin. I'm spread thin. I'm up early, constantly hustling all day, every day, traveling the world, doing whatever. And now I'm trying to find that one thing. And once I find it, I'll zone in 100%.